What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and next week on Friday, not Saturday, Francis Ngannou is taking on Anthony Joshua for his second boxing bout, and he's an underdog. Obviously, Anthony Joshua, he's a boxing champion. He's been around a long time, has tons of experience. He should win, right? But I want to tell you guys how Francis Ngannou can beat Anthony Joshua. This is not my prediction. This is me going into the corner and the team of Francis Ngannou and coming up with a game plan to beat and knock Anthony Joshua out. So the first thing I'm going to say that Francis Ngannou is going to need to do is to use body shots. Body shots are great for power punchers, especially when you're looking for those big shots, but also when you're dealing with someone who's like more skilled and it's hard to find the head, go to the body. Like, start off low and then start chopping that tree down. Take the energy out of his system, make him drop those hands and open his head. The next key to victory for Francis Ngannou is to use his jab. And Robert Helenius, he's kind of a journeyman boxer. Like, he's lower level, right? But he was like a tall opponent, and Anthony Joshua, like, he was kind of evenly matched in terms of height and reach. And he was giving Anthony Joshua quite a bit of problems with that jab. So Francis Ngannou has a long reach. He can sort of match Anthony Joshua, so utilize that jab. It's going to give him problems. The third step is to use a 2-1 combo. Lead with a cross and end with a jab from the southpaw stance. Francis Ngannou did this against Stipe Miocic, and he dropped him, but it was from the orthodox stance. And Alexander Usyk, he was landing a lot of crosses on Anthony Joshua, and there's openings for the jab, so he would sometimes follow up with a jab, and Ngannou is gonna have his power hand as his right hand, so it's gonna cause a lot of damage, and it's gonna be a bit unpredictable and kind of hard to see coming too. The fourth key to victory for Francis Ngannou is to keep his head off the center line. We've seen fighters like Mike Tyson and Ilia Topuria do this effectively, where you're kind of pressuring your opponent, but you're also keeping your head off the center line, so you can't get time with jabs, and it makes it easier to slip. Obviously, there's some problems that are gonna come with hooks, but that's why you gotta mix your attacks. You can't always do the same thing. So keep your head moving. Tyson Fury was landing a lot of straight punches on Ngannou, and Anthony Joshua is gonna be looking to that too. So keep that head moving. The next step is to take an angle when you throw in the check hook. Anthony Joshua has some great intercepting counters, and I'm going to put some examples on screen. And yeah, he's got some great intercepting counters. Francis Ngannou was getting time. I'm going to show it right now. With a combo, it's kind of like a left hook into a right straight. You're pulling the right glove down and you're landing the right straight, because Ngannou was getting caught with that because he was throwing that wide check hook and staying in the same position. But if you're gonna keep throwing that wide check hook, take an angle and then take a step out of range and then do it. Kind of like how Floyd Mayweather knocked out Ricky Hatton. And also, Anthony Joshua has a much more powerful right straight than Tyson Fury, so you can't allow yourself to take some of those shots that you took from Fury. So him defensively, when he's going on offense and defense, it's gonna have to be on point, because Anthony Joshua, he's one of the hardest hitters that Francis Ngannou has fought. Ngannou, he's very solid, but you don't want to test how good your chin is. It's better to just, leave that to be unknown if you have a chin or not. So be defensively sound and take an angle off that check hook. Now, the next thing I'm gonna say for Francis Ngannou to win is to use feints. Use feints, because Anthony Joshua knows that you're going to be powerful. He knows that you can drop him and everything. So he's going to be definitely jittery at first in the first early rounds up until he gets his timing and everything. So, play on that. Make him think you're going to the body and then go to the head. Make him think you're going to go to the head and then go to the body. Just mix it up, level changes and all that. So use feints, and it's going to set up your attacks too. The next thing I'm going to say for Francis Ngannou to win this fight against Anthony Joshua is to pressure. Anthony Joshua, he's a big guy. He's used to controlling the middle of the ring. And, he's got a lot of space to work with. It's a lot easier to, be the one going forward compared to the one going backwards and, having to avoid big shots and not having as much space to move out of shots. So Francis Ngannou is going to have to dictate this fight and, go forward, push him back, bully him a bit. So, yeah, pressure Anthony Joshua. The next key to victory for Francis Ngannou, and I'm really glad that he can fight off both stances, so it's going to give him even a bigger advantage. It's to use that up jab from southpaw. And I'm going to put an example on screen. Alexander Usyk, he beat Anthony Joshua twice, and one of his biggest weapons in that fight was the up jab, because he's a southpaw. It's awkward because it kind of looks like you're going to the body, but then you just mix it up and go to the head. And Usyk was really fast, but he wasn't as powerful, and he's definitely not as powerful as Francis Ngannou. And Francis Ngannou's power hand is his right hand, so use it from southpaw, you create that up jab, and then you can potentially set up a massive left straight. And the last thing I'm going to say for Francis Ngannou's key to victory against Anthony Joshua is to keep your punches tight. Francis Ngannou in his fight versus Tyson Fury, he was throwing some pretty wide shots, and that's because he's originally an MMA fighter, and in MMA you kind of gotta throw a bit wider punches, because you gotta you gotta work with the angles and everything. It's a bit different in boxing. Everything is a lot more tight, and in MMA it's not as tight. So for this fight, it's Francis Ngannou's second fight in boxing. I'm expecting some improvements from this guy, so I hope that he can tighten his punches and not leave as many openings, because Anthony Joshua has some great intercepting counters, and he's going to be looking to, try that game plan. I think he's probably going to, move around quite a bit, try to intercept Ngannou here and there, and try to maybe finish him through that. But yeah, I'm going to recap everything I've said for Francis Ngannou's keys to victory. The first step is to use body shots. The second step is to use your jab. The third step is to use a 2-1 combo from southpaw. The fourth step is to keep your head off the center line. The fifth step is to take an angle when you're throwing a check hook. 6, use feints. Number 7 is to pressure Anthony Joshua. Number 8 is to use the up jab from southpaw. And number 9 is to keep your punches tight. And if Francis Ngannou does all these things, I believe he can beat Anthony Joshua. And as for my prediction for this fight, I did say that Tyson Fury was going to beat Francis Ngannou, but, I want to say Francis Ngannou, but I think I'm going to, it's tough. I think I'm going to go with Francis Ngannou. I think he's going to get a win with a split decision. It's going to be tough, but yeah, I'm definitely cheering for Ngannou.